Yes, yes, fight fans, body and mind sports, my people. You are fully appreciated in this round, my guys, my people. Let's start with Sheeraz, who is under Queensberry Promotions and Frank Warren. The latest on Sheeraz is that he's moving up from 168 pounds to from 160 pounds to 168 pounds. That is from middleweight to super middleweight. And with that move, he has also ditched his trainer, Ricky Funes, and he is now with Andy Lee, my guys, my people. But why the sudden changes? Why? We will go into that soon, but I would like to say that it seems like whenever a fighter goes through some controversy in the ring or has gone through a bad performance, they go on to enlist Andy Lee to save them, because Ben Whittaker, who had a terrible performance against Liam Camron in their October fight, well ahead of his rematch with Liam Camron coming up this Sunday, Easter Sunday, my guys, my people, well, Whittaker has also enlisted Andy Lee's training, my guys, my people, to help him out. So as you can see there, maybe Sheeraz is doing, you know, exactly the same to try and save his career, my guys. Obviously doing the same thing, my guys, my people. But let's investigate. Let's start with Sheeraz on that last crescendo fight card where he challenged Carlos Adames, the WBC champion, at the middleweight division for his title, and Adames won that fight via a landslide. By a huge landslide, by the way. However, the judges' scorecards did not reflect this, and the final score on the night was actually a majority decision draw, which had fans suspecting that the fight was rigged. What were the excuses that were given after, you know, to do with Sheeraz's poor performance? Well, Sheeraz, they claimed he had a broken hand, and he did show pictures on social media showing quite a significantly swollen left hand that looked totally bashed up, to tell you the truth. So we'll give him the benefit of the doubt there. However, we do know boxing is a rough sport, things do happen, but a decent fighter at least can still put up a decent performance, at least a brave performance, even if they don't win. But Sheeraz, my guys, it's like he did not even try at all in that fight, my guys, my people, which at the time led me to believe that there had to be something more than him breaking his hand, you know, that resulted in him having a poor performance, my guys, my people. And now with Frank Warren, you know, after an interview with Box Nation, he revealed that Sheeraz was not 100% happy with his performance on the night, my guys, my people. And so they have now ditched Ricky Funes and, of course, enlisted Andy Lee, my guys, which gives credence to my, you know, original suspicions. Gives credence to my suspicions, my guys, that there had to be something more than him just breaking his hand, my guys, my people. Yeah, you know, Sheeraz, who, well, they say that Andy Lee, well, Frank Warren says that Andy Lee is the man to move him up to the next level. That Carlos Adames fight was supposed to be the next level. That was a WBC title fight, my guys, my people. And if he can't get past Carlos Adames, how is he gonna fare against Liam Camron, who is the unified IBF WBO champion? How? Liam Camron is seen as the best fighter in the division, although I don't entirely agree with that notion, my guys, my people. How is he going to bring the buzz back in the division? Because that was the initial plan, that Sheeraz would be the man to bring some buzz into 160 pounds a barren land that does not have any big fights aside from Chris Eubank Jr., my guys, my people. And if you are not winning and in fact losing and getting gift decisions, my people, right, to favor you, how are you gonna bring the buzz? How are you gonna bring the money, the big fights? You can't. Look, my people, boxing fans, we love brave, exciting fighters, you know, and even more so if they can win titles, neither of which Hamza Sheeraz is able to do at 160 pounds. Look at his performance with Carlos Adames, despite that he had a broken hand, my guys. What if he gets a broken hand at 168 pounds? What is he going to do then, my guys, my people? I guess they believe that the answer to that is Andy Lee, my guys, my people. So but Andy Lee can't fight for you. He can't fight for you. He can teach you how, but he can't fight for you. So I suspect that the move to 168 pounds is, of course, to go and meet those big fights, since you can't create one off your own buzz and off your own talents at 160 pounds, my guys, my people. It kind of looks like they're cashing him in at 168, because I don't see him becoming a champion in a deep division as 168 pounds. Look at the names that are there. We got Diego Pacheco, Jaime Minguia, Edgar Berlanga, Christian Mbile, right? And then we got names that are not so well known, don't get no mention at all, like Lester Martinez, my guys. And there are other names that are hiding in the corners of that division, my guys, my people. It is a deep division. And I have not even mentioned the king of that division, Saul Canelo Alvarez, who is an elite fighter, my guys, my people. So look, Sheeraz, he will get the big fights that he so much desires, but become a champion, I highly doubt it. He will get the big fights, but the wins will be harder to come by. They will be harder to come by, harder than it was at 160 pounds, my guys, my people. But we do have Frank Warren, who said the move up is, of course, because Sheeraz now finding it hard to make 160 pounds. And that was, in fact, one of the reasons they gave to, well, they gave as, you know, as a factor that contributed to his very, very poor performance versus Carlos Adames, my guys, my people. But the move up will be good for him in terms of that he wouldn't have to cut so much weight. That extra 8 pounds, I believe, will mean that he runs less risk of dehydrating. You know, so he will be a bigger fighter. He will be stronger, and I suspect he will be packing more power as well, my guys, my people. So the move may be after all good for him. And there are winnable fights. There are 50-50 fights there that he could win. The rumors are that he could be going up against Edgar Berlanga. He is targeting Edgar Berlanga. Edgar Berlanga, who has fought at the very top of the division versus Saul Canelo Alvarez in September. He lost that fight via unanimous decision, although he exceeded everybody's expectations. He lost, my guys, but he did bounce back in March with a win over Jonathan Ortiz. Now, Jonathan Ortiz, he is not by any means, you know, a great fighter, but a decent win nonetheless, my guys, my people. So, yeah, it is going to be a good matchup with Sheeraz, I believe. Both young fighters, Sheeraz, 25 years old, Berlanga, 27 years old, and they have similar records as well, my guys, my people. Sheeraz, who has a record 23 wins, no losses, 1 draw, and 17 via KO. Edgar Berlanga, also 23 wins, 1 loss, 0 draws, and 18 via KO. So you can see there, yeah, it's a good matchup. And Sheeraz, who is actually 6'3" with a 75-inch reach. So definitely, he does have a big frame, and I think 168 pounds will be good for him in that sense, that he will fill out more, my guys, my people, and possibly will be a stronger fighter. But this fight with Edgar Berlanga that they're targeting, I think, yes, is going to be a 50-50 fight. They are targeting May the 31st, and it will be a 5v5 card. Queensbury Promotions versus Matchroom, my guys. That is Frank Warren versus Eddie Hearn again. The first 5v5, great, loved it, my guys. So let's get it again, man. Jermall Charlo and Caleb Plant could feature on that card. Charlo, who has been on a hiatus, and Plant, who has got a good win. I can't remember the name of the fighter. He's got a good win after losing to Benavides, my guys, my people. That is David Benavides, and that was at 168. Benavides no longer at 168, by the way. He is now at 175, my guys, my people. So yeah, I would like to see both Jermall Charlo and Plant. They do have, yeah, that is a grudge match there. They have been beefing, and yeah, definitely would like to see Sheeraz versus Edgar Berlanga, my guys, my people. Let's get it. But my guys, Andy Lee, I think, is a good choice for Sheeraz. Sheeraz will be amongst good company. Andy Lee, who also trains Ben Whittaker, trains Joseph Parker and Paddy Donovan, my guys, my people. So under some good guidance with Andy Lee, I reckon. And Sheeraz actually took this opportunity with Andy Lee after witnessing him train with Ben Whittaker at the Barley Brack gym in Ireland, my guys, my people. So yeah, I think it's going to be a good matchup. Andy Lee, who knows his way both in and outside of the ring. He is a former fighter and former champion as well in the middleweight division. Now, my people, let us talk Derek Chisora, my guys, my people. But before we get there, cast your mind back just a little while back, not too far back. We did have Martin Bakole, who was supposed to be in an IBF final eliminator bout versus F.A. Ajagba to take place on the 2nd of May, my guys, my people. However, Bakole, he threw away that opportunity when he decided that he was going to earn extra money after taking, you know, his last-minute replacement bout for Joseph Parker's WBO interim strap. Now, him and Parker fought on the Last Crescendo fight card. And because Bakole lost that bout, he also lost his IBF final eliminator opportunity, my guys, my people. Although him and F.A. Ajagba are still going to fight, it is no longer going to be an IBF final eliminator. Also, that bout there has been rescheduled. It is now going to be on the 3rd of May in the undercard of Canelo versus William Skull in their undisputed bout at 168 pounds, my guys, my people. So now that takes us to Derek Chisora, who had an amazing win over Otto Wallin on the 8th of February, marking 3 consecutive wins for Chisora, my guys, amazingly and surprisingly, my guys, my people. And so with that bout there being an eliminator bout, not a final eliminator, my people, but an eliminator bout, well, that landed Chisora in the number 2 spot under the IBF rankings, my guys, my people. And you know, according to the IBF, they just decided to make Chisora a direct mandatory to Daniel Dubois, although the number 1 spot is vacant. They decided to make Daniel Dubois a direct mandatory to Daniel Dubois, and well, qualified him to have a direct shot at Dubois' title, my guys, my people, which is very, very strange. Very, very strange. Chisora, being number 2, is supposed to be involved in a final eliminator to qualify him to that number 1 spot, my guys, or should I say to qualify the winner in his final eliminator for that number 1 spot, because only that number 1 spot, you know, is privileged to a direct title shot to Dubois and his IBF strap, my guys, because the number 1 contender under IBF ruling is like an interim champion. Like an interim champion, my guys, my people. But why have the IBF gone around their own rules, right, to make Chisora the direct mandatory to Daniel Dubois? Their reasoning was that there is no time for Chisora to be in a final eliminator bout because Dubois' mandatory due date is in June, my guys, my people. And I kind of understand that. I do understand that, but that does not make it right. And the reason why I understand is, look, if you look at it this way, Chisora just fought and beat Otto Wallin in February. For him to be in a final eliminator bout, well, that bout would have to be maybe late April, right? Or possibly late May, which is way too close to June, when Dubois' mandatory due date is due, my guys, my people. So the winner of that final eliminator and between Dubois and whoever it may be, right, the winner of that bout there would not have enough time to have preparation, camp and whatnot to go on and face Dubois in June in a mandatory bout, my guys, my people. It's just not possible. Not possible. So yeah, I've talked about this before in another video, and my reasoning was that why don't they move Dubois' mandatory due date to another, you know, appropriate date further along the line? Why don't they do that and allow Chisora to be in a final eliminator bout, and the winner of that bout, well, they can go forward to fight Daniel Dubois at that later appropriate date, my guys, my people. Why didn't they do that? Why didn't they do that? But weird enough, my guys, my people, instead of doing that, they have decided that, look here, they will now order another final eliminator bout, and that will be between Filip Hrgovic, the number 6 ranked fighter, and Frank Sanchez, the number 4 ranked fighter. Now look, if Hrgovic and Frank Sanchez fight, then the winner of that fight will leapfrog Chisora, who is at number 2, and they will then occupy the number 1 spot, which is vacant currently, my guys, my people. Which means that Derek Chisora will be in trouble. He will be in trouble. He would lose well, that that myth, you know, mandatory spot that the IBF have gifted him, my guys, my people. He will not, I mean, because the winner of Sanchez and Hrgovic will supersede him. My guys, my people, which is very strange why the IBF has done this. My only logical explanation behind this, I would say, is possibly Chisora has found another opportunity, maybe with Dillian Whyte. I mean, after all, that is a big fight in the UK. If they're to make that trilogy, it would make sense. However, though, Chisora was actually looking forward to face Daniel Dubois. And even Frank Warren, he said that if Dubois does not go on to face Usyk, then of course his next option will be Derek Chisora next. Because according to the IBF, Chisora is Dubois' mandatory, my guys, my people, which is very weird. It's very weird, my guys. But what is also weird is that although Chisora has only just become Daniel Dubois' mandatory, that they will be ordering the IBF champion Daniel Dubois to fight his mandatory Derek Chisora by April the 22nd. Now, we really need to look at things realistically, because Derek Chisora right now on holiday, so I really don't see, well, he's on a long holiday, my guys, my people, so I really don't see him coming back until July, maybe August, maybe September, my guys, my people, if we were to look at things realistically. On the other hand, Dubois and Usyk, the plan is that they fight one another on the 12th of July at Wembley Stadium. So they are planning the big one for them, but they still have that issue with the WBO where they have ordered Usyk to defend his title against his mandatory in Joseph Parker, the interim WBO champion, my guys, my people. Now, both Usyk and Dubois, they have lodged a request to the WBO to grant an exception, and if that should be granted, then of course they go on to fight for all the straps, Usyk and Dubois. You know, and the IBF have said previously, you know, that if the WBO were to grant their request, then of course they would allow that fight to happen, my guys, my people, and just ignore that of course Chisora is mandatory, my guys, my people. Yeah, but if the WBO does not grant for Usyk and Daniel Dubois to fight, you know, then of course well, not to fight, but if they don't grant for an exception, then of course Usyk may go forward to fight Dubois without the WBO strap, my guys, my people. Or Usyk may choose to honor Joseph Parker, but I really don't see that happening. What I see happening is that Usyk is going to go forward and fight Daniel Dubois anyway, my guys, my people. And if that happens, the winner of Usyk and Daniel Dubois, the way the landscape is looking right now, it seems may go on to fight Derek Chisora, or the winner of Hrgovic and Frank Sanchez, or Moses Itauma, my guys. Frank Warren, Turki Al-Sheikh, they love the idea of Usyk versus Moses Itauma. If Dubois should win, Frank Warren also does not mind that Dubois fights Moses Itauma, my guys. Moses Itauma, who believes that he's a more gifted fighter than Alexander Usyk, and if they fight, he stands a chance of beating Usyk. However, he does not have much experience in rounds because he's just been getting his opponents out of there real early. And so if he was to go and fight Usyk straight away with Usyk's experience of fighting 12 rounds, Usyk may take over in the latter rounds and win. So Itauma, he would like to have maybe 1 or 2 more fights where he can gain experience with fighting, you know, at least past the 5th, 6th round. So he wants more rounds, basically. Moses Itauma, my guys, my people. So yeah. As for, well, Daniel Dubois, if he was to beat Usyk, would he choose any of these fighters that I've named, Daniel Dubois, or the winner of Hrgovic and Frank Sanchez, or even Moses Itauma when Anthony Joshua is there and offers a more lucrative opportunity? Do you have that rematch? they do have that rematch that they have not, you know, has not come into fruition yet. You know, but then again, Usyk and Daniel Dubois too, they do also, their fight will also be a rematch as well. Of course, Daniel Dubois, he wants to put to bed, well, both fighters want to put to bed the controversy that surrounded their first fight, where Usyk was dropped in the 5th round with a body shot that was deemed a low blow, my guys, my people, which people thought if it wasn't deemed a low blow, then Usyk may have gone on to lose the fight, my guys, my people. So yeah, that is how things are looking like right now. Very, very confusing, especially when it involves the IBF. Most definitely, I would say the reason behind all of this rubbish is due to Martin Bakole actually taking that fight with Joseph Parker instead of waiting on his mandatory shot. I mean, instead of waiting on his final eliminator shot with F.A. Ajagba, my guys, my people. And also the confusion because the IBF was greedy. They wanted to squeeze as much money as possible out of Dubois before he retires in his 50th fight, my guys, my people. So yeah, they decided that they were going to give him an opportunity that he didn't deserve. I know he's had a great run, but he does not deserve to be mandatory. Sitting in the number 2 spot, the IBF just went around their own rules. So that is those are the 2 reasons why all this confusion. And with that said, my guys, my people, that's all I have for you on this one. And before you leave, do like, do share, subscribe, of course, drop your comments below. And as always, stay super, super blessed.